Hello faithful viewers and welcome back to another Transformers re-review. This time we're looking at the Generations Thrilling 30 Chromia. Now why am I redoing this review? Number one, better lighting. Number two, I need to give more energy. Anyway, Chromia turns into a Cybertronian bike of some description. It's alien, you know, it's whatever. But it's a pretty decent all mode altogether. It's very nice and neat, compact, and I like the way it all fits in place. Primary colours are blue, a lighter blue, and red. It's what you would expect from a Chromia. She's got a gun accessory there, which pegs into a port on either side of the bike. These will be next to the knees in robot mode. And if we just examine this in fine detail, it's decently sculpted, nice detail all throughout it. Not much else to say about it though, so we'll just put it to the side. You've got an Autobot symbol on the front there. It may or may not be a sticker. She's got a kickstand to keep her stable like that, but as I described in the original video, you should, if you just get her right, because of the way that her wheels are sculpted with the big trenches in the middle, get her to balance on her own. And this is where I disprove what I showed in the original video. Come on, you did it for me a few years ago. Don't show me up like this. There we go. Damn you. There you go. A little bit tricky to do, but achievable. All of that effort for diddly squat. Okay. That's kind of it for the vehicle mode, really. So let's get her transformed into robot mode. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'll come to the sides here and just pry away these flaps. And then you should be able to take the backpack apparatus and just flare it out to the front, and you can hinge it up along with the front wheel and then just flatten the wheel up against the top like that. Then you can come to this back bit here with those exposed thrusters like that, bring that up and then peel the arms away and just leave them flared out like so. Then with the underside of the bike we can bring that out, pull it out like that, and that activates the automorph / revealer gimmick. So we're bringing the hips down, her head comes up, and you should just be able to tab that into place, and that locks the whole mechanism. And then with all of this, bring the skirt piece down, take the thrusters, flatten them against the back, and take all of this and just flatten it as well as you possibly can. And you've got her in Revenge of the Fallen mode. This is a little joke that I made in the original video, and it's worth making again because it is, you know, accurate to a pinch. Rolling around in Shanghai or Egypt like that. Wrong Chromia. Okay, let's finish this off. Let's split her at the legs and then folding the wheels like that. And then bring the feet down into place. If this looks familiar to you, it's because she is a remold of the Transformers Prime RID RC, and it is a superior use of the mold. I argued that case in the original video, and I still argue that in this modern day iteration. And there you go, Chromia fully transformed. Once we get her stood up. Voila. She's quite the looker, isn't she? Especially from the front. But, unfortunately, when you turn her round, that's where all the kibble becomes very apparent. Now, because of the nature of the mould, there's unfortunately not a hell of a lot that you can do with this. Maybe a modern interpretation of this figure might find a way to tuck all of this up and away a little bit better. But, you know, however old this figure is, like, it's over a decade at this point, isn't it? For the time, I don't know what the solution is. Lots of clear plastic going on as well with these wheels here, and especially the cockpit area. Again, clear plastic is known for being a bit brittle. I've not had a problem with this figure. I don't foresee having a problem with this figure. She's held up very well as the years have come by. It's a good, clever reuse of that RID RC mold, and I think it suits Chromia a lot better. So if we zoom in and take a look at that noggin in greater detail, you've got a very faithful face sculpt to the way that Chromia is represented typically within Transformers media, especially in G1. She does have light piping, and as demonstrated here, it is pretty good light piping, and it's very apparent what parts are taken straight from the RC mold and what parts are subject to remolding. So you've got the chest from the original figure, the arms are slightly changed to accommodate this new version of the character, the legs are basically taken straight from RC, and then all of the crap on the back is brand new. While she can hold her gun, it's not the most secure fitting in the world. It doesn't take a lot to easily remove it from her hand, so that's a little bit of a design flaw there, unfortunately. Another thing, apparently this mould is very notorious for paint chipping. Now, I've not had a hell of a lot of paint chipping at all. The only place where I can possibly identify it are on these tabs here, which ultimately plug in to the side wings. I think that's the only instance I've had in the entire figure. I'm looking at her scrutinizingly and I don't see anything else. So don't really panic about any possible paint chipping, because it will just happen in very, very minor places. It's nothing to worry about. In terms of articulation then, Chromia's head is on a ball joint. She can turn it 360 degrees, look down that far, and look up only to the neutral forward position. Her shoulders are on ball joints as well. She's ball joint heavy, and as you see, that one just popped off. Let's get that back in. But 360 degree rotation at the shoulder. The elbows as well are ball joints, so you've got 360 rotation and a 90 degree bend. The wrists are also on ball joints, so you've got 360 swivel. In the original video I said that was really tight, and it's not, but 360 swivel, and you can move it up and down like so. Nothing at the waist due to the transformation. At the hips, impressive forward kick. The back kick is hampered by the skirt piece, but you should be able to flare that back, and then you've got a lot more clearance to go like that. And then a pretty good spread. I'm not going to say beautiful, because it just doesn't quite hit the height that I would give that classification to, but it is, you know, very commendable as it is. You've got rotation that far at the hip and rotation that far as well. At the knees, you've got 90 degree bend, and then if you move the wheels out of the way, you can achieve even further. Why would you want to, though? I don't know. And then at the feet, you've got not really any up and down wiggle waggle, just because of the way that this locks into place. Overall articulation is pretty decent then. There is a lot of kibble, yes, but you can get it out of the way to accommodate a higher range of freedom of movement. For size comparisons then, here is Chromia next to her fellow Thrilling 30 figure, Windblade. Here she is next to Legacy Road Rocket. Here she is next to Transformers Prime First Edition RC. Here she is with Titanium Man. And here she is with Mysterio. To transform Chromia back into vehicle mode, we're going to just discard her weapon. And then we're just going to begin by hinging a lot of this backpack up and out of the way, leaving the arms kind of where they are. A lot of the work initially is going to be on the legs, so let's rotate the tyres out, bring the feet back up, and then finish putting the tyres into place. Same thing on this leg here, just do that and that and that, and then we are going to connect these together. So just like that, very easy. And we're going to bend the legs and bring them down round about there. I'm going to take this panel at the back, push it down, and then just making sure that the arms are out of the way. If we recall, this waist joint activates the revealer automorph, so a little bit stiff. I'm just going to try and put enough pressure on it that I don't break my nail in the process. There we go. That's bringing the head down, and then we can get the legs into their final positions. Leave the arms hanging roughly by her sides there, and then we're going to bring the skirt piece down and over, just making sure that all of the ports and tabs are in their correct positions as we do so. There we go, nice and cushy. And then we can take the rest of this apparatus, make sure it's brought forward. Let's bring this back and flaring those side bits out, and then tabbing said side bits into those pegs on the legs. Then with the wheel. Kind of, sort of a bit of personal preference. It's hard to accurately determine which way this is meant to be in, if it's like that or if it's like that. A little bit of jiggery pokery, slotting it in. There we go, that feels right. And then with the gun, you can just plug it in to either of the ports on either side, activate a kickstand, get it like that, and there you go, that is one Chromia. fully transforms back into bike mode. So thrilling 30 Chromia then. I do like this thing. I stand by my opinion that it is a better use of the mainline RID Prime RC mold than even the original figure. It's got really nice paint over it. Don't worry about paint chipping, not a big deal. Very easy and fluid transformation both into robot and vehicle. Yes, there's a lot of kibble crap on the back, but it's manageable. Doesn't particularly get in the way of articulation. You can maneuver it out of the way, no trouble, and it's just a generally beautiful sculpt in terms of the head and in terms of the body. It does get a recommendation from me. Seek it out. There's going to be alternative Chromias on the market. It depends on how you view the character, what your favoured alternative mode is for her. Personally, I think that this is a really good representation of the character. So thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this review. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.